Hello and welcome to this review of J.W. Dant's Charcoal Perfected Old Style Blended Whiskey. Okay, blended whiskey with natural flavors, which is it's going to be the blending sherry, and caramel color. Bottled by the Dant Distillery Company, Bardstown, Kentucky, but actually it's Heaven Hill. If you check on the Heaven Hill website under product specifications, this will be listed. It is true since 1836, J.W. Dant's was established in 1836, but they've been bought out a long time ago. No age statement, so that means it's aged at least 4 years, at least the straight whiskeys in this blend. 40% alcohol. They do not give a blend ratio, but I would assume it's an 80-20 blend. I don't know that. I'm figuring 80% grain spirits and 20% straight whiskey. Backacre Distillery, I don't know what that is. So anyway, blended whiskeys, they are allowed to have caramel color added. And if you look at the Tax and Trade Bureau website, they say it can have up to, I think it's 2.5% blending sherry for flavoring. But of course, blending sherry, sherry has a pretty complex range of flavors. If you just go and buy Taylor sherry and try all the different types, you'll notice quite a bit of difference in the flavors. So, but I don't know what they would be using. Actually, don't know when the Charcoal Perfected hit the market, but like I say, the company, Dant, 1836. They're saying old style, I don't know what that means. There are a couple of video reviews on YouTube. I intend to watch those as time permits. So it's caramel color. You can see that. I bought this in Bay St. Louis, Mississippi, and it was $6.49. I'm pretty sure it was $6.49 for the 750 milliliter bottle. I've never seen this in Louisiana. Now, J.W. Dant's is similar to like Fleischmann's, Mr. Boston, McCormick, W.D., Grand Legacy, in the sense that there'll be a whole line of various liquors under that brand name. You know, you get the Grand Legacy Canadian blended Scotch, rum, gold rum, spice rum, gin, vodka, and so on. And that's a common practice in the United States, at least. Okay, I think Sir Robert, which is Scottish, they also do that, have different products, vodka, gin, Scotch under the King Robert II brand. So it's probably common for the British Commonwealth as well. Nice uniform alcohol legs. I'm not expecting a whole lot. Blended whiskeys, at least I guess they're all that way, but the American blended whiskeys can be tricky. Some are nice, like the Seagram 7 Crown, and some can be highly questionable, let's say. And when you're paying this kind of money, you can't be too surprised at that $6.49, and then you gotta almost expect an aberration to an extent. Smells like a Heaven Hill blended, meaning a strange nutty note, like pecan shell. I think that's what they usually smell like. Now the flavors they'll exhibit will be unusual as well, like a honeydew melon, which I don't think is what you're searching for with any sort of whiskey. Well, let's see. So don't know the blend ratio, don't exactly know the age, but the minimum is 4 if there's no statement. So you would figure they're not gonna go above the minimum. What is the straight bourbon they're using in this? Who knows? But more than likely, it would be the Evan Williams or Heaven Hill. But actually, it could be any of their bourbons that just did not meet their quality standards, and they sent it off to that area of the distillery where they do the blends. So now it smells, okay. It actually smells good in a way, you could argue that. There's also an unusual fruit note. Not honeydew, but a lemon aspect. I've noticed that with other Heaven Hill products. I mean, they're blended whiskeys. Okay, so I'll be curious, like I said, to watch those two reviews that are posted. I don't know if there's any other written reviews, for this. So I'll check this distiller.com and Proof 66. Yeah, it's same story, different label, really. T.W. Samuels. What's the other one I've got? I was just looking at this morning. They have this strange nutshell, and as far as the sherry, I'm thinking, to me it tastes like a cocktail sherry. If you get Sheffield cocktail sherry and you taste it, or Fairbanks cocktail sherry and you taste it, you'll see that it's a very dry sherry, and it might work well for blending. It wouldn't be too sweet. But they probably, Heaven Hill probably has their own in-house sherry production. Well, of course they could be contracting out. I don't know. I'm just guessing, really. Oh, I was thinking of Clubhouse. Yeah. This is very similar to Clubhouse. Very. You might make the argument it's the same thing with different labels. I wouldn't necessarily be surprised by that. And in fact, honestly, I would expect that. But I don't know that, and I can't verify that, so I'm not going to deal with that. I'm just going to grade this on what it is and not worry about the other brands. It doesn't scream grain spirits, however. It does have a mild little bourbon taste, very mild. Corn, charred oak, very mild. The nuttiness is the predominant flavor and aroma, though. No honeydew melon, though, thankfully. Now, could that change with the taste challenges? Yes, what I found with these products, and it could be so many different brands, on their own merits, they'll score well. You say, oh, this is all right. I mean, I could see buying this. And if you're only going to drink it on its own, and you're not going to do taste challenges, and most people don't, it'll probably be okay. But when you put it in play against other American blended whiskeys, things can start to break down quick, because it's just like testing it against different products brings out different characteristics that you don't get on its own. And I don't know why that is. Oh, it's medium bodied, moderate finish, doesn't drop off too quick, doesn't hang around too long. Well, as I sip on it, I'm noticing more of the corn body, the grain spirits. Grain neutral spirits isn't that different than bourbon. And what I mean is, grain spirits in the USA are almost invariably made from corn grits. They take pulverized corn, yellow corn, they distill it, but it's distilled and that's it. And they bring it down to 80 proof, and then they start to blend it. But it's not aged, so it's what we would say moonshine, just clear, odorless, colorless, for the most part. Now, if you took that same product, it could be 100% corn, you could blend it with rye, wheat, malt whiskey, and they do that generally. You could, I didn't say you had to. Then you age it in a never before used charred oak barrel for at least 2 years, then you have bourbon whiskey. So you could take the grain spirits and make the bourbon from it. But they're not doing that. They're just blending them fresh, no age, with 4-year aged bourbon. And that's what you're getting here. Very basic product, very inexpensive. but popular. I mean, you see these everywhere. Go to any liquor store, there's American blends. Yeah, they're on the bottom shelf generally, but people buying them like crazy. Especially the Seagram 7 Crown, which is usually higher on the shelf, mid-shelf, more expensive. You see a lot of displays out in the stores, a lot of in-store promos for the 7 Crown. So blended whiskey definitely has a following. For good or ill. Now, you might say, well, Seagram 7 Crown is way better than this. I would agree with that. But, to be fair, I've done blind taste tests where I could not tell the Seagram 7 Crown from the much cheaper competitor. So that woke me up a little bit to bias and whatnot. On its own merit here, it's okay. I would prefer the Beam's 8-star, actually the 75-25 old 8-star. The current 80-20 is okay. That may not be any better than this, but the old 75-25 was. Of course, the 7 Crown I would prefer, but this is yeah, in there with this the T.W. Samuels, the Clubhouse. Maybe not as good as Grand Legacy, but that's a Sazerac brand. I think Sazerac seems to do it. I think Sazerac doesn't seem to. I just think Sazerac does a better job with their blended whiskeys, but I'm going to do taste challenges with this. So I would score it an 80. It's an 8. It's a B minus. It's marginally good. And if you came to me and said, no way, it's a C. It's no better than average. I wouldn't go along with D. It's not bad. But if you want to argue, make a strong argument for ho-hum and C, tolerable but not enjoyable, I would not take issue with that. But I'm going to still say it has some little nutty things going on. The nut oil, pecan shell, which does give it some palatability. So I think a B minus, but no higher than 80. I would never go higher than 80 is acceptable. So Les Bon Temps Relais, but maybe probably with the 7 Crown. And I'm going to end this review by saying B minus, and y'all come on down to southeastern Louisiana.